Do you ever feel stuck in the rat race? Life doesn't have to be that way if you're willing to put in the work. In Bigger Vision, Chris Garrison helps you discover the keys to abundance, freedom, and personal growth that let you live the life of your dreams. And now, here's your host, Chris Garrison.
How do we stay on top of the mountain? How do we avoid the valleys that we so typically find ourselves in? This is probably one of the biggest problems I've seen in my personal life and in others' lives, because we love the energy and excitement when you're on the mountain and you're winning and you've just really impressed yourself and others. But then when we're in the valley preparing for the mountaintop, we are feeling the resistance and it's stretching us, it's growing us, it's building all of the things that we need to have built in us so that we can climb the mountain to reach the top. Those moments really play on your mind. And I want to encourage you to remember these moments are necessary, but there is a level of excitement that you can keep in the valleys. You don't have to allow it to be such a drudge and a depressive, low feeling when you're in the valleys, because the valleys, without them, you wouldn't have the mountaintops, because you would never make it up the mountain. You would never have the stamina to be able to climb where you're trying to go. So I kind of wanted to go over a few things that would allow you to be more equipped to enjoy the entire life cycle, which is the valleys and the mountaintops. First, I believe that you really do need to understand who you are, what you're about, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. This is going to be a self-discovery process that you have throughout your life, because as we develop and grow, we encounter other weaknesses and obstacles that need to be dealt with. And we also find exceptional strengths that we're able to execute on very quickly. So one thing that I have found is if you want to pull up an assessment, and I like multiple assessments because these assessment programs will allow you to get different angles at your personality and at your working strengths. So one, to find out what your kind of working strengths are is going to be the 6 types of working genius. I just recently came upon this, really like the fact that you can go to workinggenius.com, pay $25, and it's going to put you into 2 categories out of 6 that says these are your geniuses. Then the other 2 out of the 6 are going to be kind of your neutrals. You don't really draw energy from them, but you can do them. And then your third 2 is going to be the ones that really cause a lot of frustration. And it made me feel better about the fact that I had areas of my life that lacked. For instance, I'm really bad at starting projects and not getting them completed. And then I have a ton of open things that cause stress on my life because I know they're open, they need to be completed, but I don't execute on them. So I have a lot of self-hatred because I don't get them executed. But when I realized that was a weakness in my personality, it's just not a strength where I pull energy from checking the box off that something's complete. Even though it causes me stress, I don't pull energy through the completion stage, where all of my energy and excitement is in that ideology stage where I'm sitting there and I'm really thinking about what is possible and how could we accomplish this and where are our resources to allow us to accomplish. That's where the excitement is for me. And it allowed me to love myself more when I realized that's just something that's not in my wheelhouse, and I need to leverage someone else's energy levels in that, because there are people out there that absolutely hate to do the front thinking and dreaming and vision casting, but they love the execution of it. Like to sit there and move something to the finish line gets them so hyped up. And it really gives you the appreciation for a team when you start to discover and love yourself more, realizing everybody's got strengths and everybody's got weaknesses. But when you pair up your strength with someone else's weakness, then you've got a great combination for success. Another place you can look up is the predictive index. Matter of fact, I've got a call with the predictive index coach soon so that I can discover that pathway and discover a little more about myself. DISC assessment is another one that you can take. DISC SC, the DISC assessment. And then there is the Enneagram. There's a great book called The Road Back to You. The Enneagram is it really exposed a lot of self-discovery for me when I read the Enneagram, because again, all it's doing is getting different perceptions on different types of personalities and reactions in the way people move. It breaks it into certain groups, kind of commonizes it. It's not to put you in a box, but it allows you to just understand why you work the way you work. And when you start this self-discovery, you're going to be able to execute at a higher level, and you're going to be able to enjoy life more because you appreciate yourself more, and you realize it's not so much necessary to work on your weaknesses as it is to focus even harder on your strengths and let those strengths shine, and partner with individuals that will make up your weaknesses out of their strengths. I'm going to say that again. Partner up with individuals that will make up your weaknesses from their strengths. This is where you really see powerhouse relationships, powerhouse businesses, because they have done exactly this. Those that have really grown massively and what seems like huge success, they have always partnered up to fill in their weaknesses by leveraging someone else's strengths. So after you've done these assessments and you've kind of understand yourself more, and this is going to be a long journey. This is not something where you go in and you take all these assessments in one night. This has been a several year journey for me, and I'm like I just told you, I'm doing predictive index in the next few days to discover even more about myself. It's not that one assessment gives you the keys to the kingdom. It's that a multitude of different perspectives allows you to understand a better wholeness in the way you see yourself. So now that you've got these assessments, I want to challenge you to get clarity on what you enjoy in life, what brings you strength and energy in life, and start with your health. Because if you're not taking care of yourself and getting you 100% full, you're not going to be able to take care of others. And I've heard of others talk about how they get drained and how they want to help individuals and they just want to make an impact on the world. But then you look at their life and it's just straight shit. They don't have anything together. And we really should be focusing on ourselves, because how do you pour water out of a pitcher that's empty? And you need to see yourself as a pitcher, and you're filling yourself up full of this energy water. So if you're not full, you have nothing to pour out to others. So start on yourself first. So look at your health. Do you have energy? Are you eating well? Are you getting some physical activity? Are you allowing yourself mentally to be influenced by positivity? Are you feeding yourself good influences so that you can have an environment that is positive and encouraging? These are the things you should be looking at. Education. Start educating yourself on the things that you want to know more about so that you become an expert on those subjects. One of the things you definitely should be educating yourself about constantly is the self-development through self-discovery. I like to listen to Jim Rohn. I like to listen to Ed Milet. If you'll type in motivation in YouTube, you'll see the names that you need to be listening to. They'll pop up and you start to listen. And then the ones that really connect with you on a personality level, just dive into those, because there are influencers out there that have a ton of content for free that you can feed off of to move yourself forward in life so that you can achieve what you want to achieve. And your ultimate goal in life should be to achieve a daily routine that gives you energy, but also stretches you to become 1% minimum, 1% better every single day. We should always have a goal to become better. And you have to remember there is resistance that you have to meet at some level each day to become better. You don't have to go into a boot camp and per se and just, be miserable all day long every day to be better. You can take it in small chunks. It's the micro movements, those micro decisions daily, not the massive decisions, but those little small decisions where you decided to maybe instead of eating the fried chicken tenders, you decided to go and pick up a salad with raw vegetables that resembled the rainbow in color. Maybe you decided to get up at a certain time and go get some physical activity to get your day started and get your endorphins pumping. It's these micro decisions that make up this massive result over a period of time. And this is why you want to be focusing on your health. You want to be focusing on your education. And then what about the family? What about the relationships in your life? This should be third on your list now that you've taken care of yourself. You should be focusing on spending time with relationships because we were built to have relationships in our life, and the correct relationships will encourage us, will provoke us to be better, and will feed our souls so that we feel wanted, and they will help you on your emotional side as well. I can't express how important it is to make sure that you have the right relationships in your life. And those relationships will be equally focused in the same manner of mindset. They will be wanting to do good for themselves. They will be wanting to be the best that they can be and to be able to have the best impact and to produce an environment around them that is full of positivity and encouragement. And when you have that around you, there's such a synergy that will allow you to move so much faster in life and impact everything that you're around. You will become a force to be reckoned with. You will be able to move environments when you walk in, when you take care of yourself and make sure that you have the people around you that are like-minded. So after you've gotten health and education and family on your calendar, then you want to focus on your finances. This is where you talk about your work. This is where you talk about your profession. You put that in on your calendar of what it's going to take for you to be able to produce that income so that you can support these other things in your life, like a gym membership, supplements to help your health, buying the correct healthy foods, purchasing the educational courses so that you can level up in whatever industry and skill set you're trying to level up in. It does take money. But the reason I stuck finance on the bottom side is that is flipping upside down what we typically would do. Most of us say, okay, I need to make this much money to be able to produce this kind of lifestyle. And this is how much time it's going to make to produce this money. But if you will go after your calendar and focus on you and your relationships around you and your spirituality, and then move into the money, then it puts money where it should be, a tool. The tool, the money, should not be commanding your actions. You should be commanding the tool and the money. And I know that seems very hard to understand when you're sitting in a position where you don't have disposable money, where it takes every effort to be able to make ends meet. But if you will put money in the place it's supposed to be by building the calendar this way, then you can come in and you can start to tweak. Because if you see that you've only got 2 hours of time making money, it's going to make you think differently about what industry, career path, skill set you need to have to be able to acquire the money that you need in that 2 hours per day. And I'm not saying that it's going to be achievable in 2 hours per day. There's always a sacrifice period, but your whole life should not be a sacrifice. Your whole life should be an enjoyment. It shouldn't be in the valley the entire lifetime where you're constantly hitting resistance trying to increase this financial position in life for yourself. It should only be a moment. When I go to the gym, it's only a moment in my day where I'm hitting resistance with weights so that I can increase my muscle mass and perfect my physique. It's the same way with money. It's the same way with your job, with your career, with your business. There was a time where I grinded it out over 10 and 12 hours a day for a period of time, but now through coaching and mentorship and self-development and taking care of me, my mind, and my health, I have learned to leverage other people and build a team like what I started out in this podcast talking about. Leverage other people. You should not constantly be trading your time for every dollar, because eventually you should have dollars to be tools for you so that you trade your dollars for more dollars. That is the goal that you should be getting in, because then when you have dollars to trade for other dollars, you create more time available for yourself to do the enjoyable things that you want to do. So this is why I say build your calendar upside down compared to the way most people build it. Money is the very last thing should be placed in there. And then you should have to sit there and brainstorm. And if you're not great at that, then bring someone else in that's successful and has a lot of money and has experience in building wealth to help brainstorm with you. Get in the coaching groups so that you can ask those questions. What industry allows you to make the most money? What position in that industry allows you to make the most money? What is to be expected for me to be able to have to trade time until I can have enough money to start trading money for new money? It forces you to ask new questions. And therefore, creativity will allow you to find the lifestyle that you can stay happy with through the valleys, climbing up the mountain, and on the mountaintop. It's not to say that life is always perfect, but we should be happy in the majority of our life. And when we understand ourselves and we build our daily routines so that we take care of ourselves first, and then we go after those tools that allow us to have a better lifestyle, those tools like money, then we're able to sit in a place of happiness. We stay happier. So we're our worst critics. Remember that when you do have these wins, you need to focus on them for a moment and then jump right back in, being the 1% better every single day. A lot of times I have a hack that I have to do because I do focus on my negatives and where I need to improve and where my faults and letdowns have been. So I will look back and say, 5 years ago, what did my life look like? My life looked a lot different than what it does now. Matter of fact, 5 years ago, I was divorced. I was super no confidence, no self-confidence. I weighed about 25 pounds lighter, which was not a good thing for me. I was super skinny, no muscle mass, hardly. I wasn't as confident. I wasn't as healthy. I didn't have the assets and the money that I have now. I didn't have the influence that I had then. I was just trying to survive. And I began to walk down the road of improvement because I was very tired of being where I was at. And I look back at where I was 5 years ago and I'm encouraged, even in my lowest moments mentally today. I can say I have come a long way, and that encourages me to keep going because I've realized I never had this one moment in these last 5 years to where I was like, boom, this was the golden ticket. This is the epiphany. This is what is going to allow me to be so successful. No, it was those micro decisions. Get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, get to the gym by 5:30, work out, do a workout 4 times a week. So I hit my upper body twice and my lower body twice. Eat well, take in nothing but education, audiobooks, podcast, motivational when I first started because I had to build up my motivated mindset because it was so depleted. Now I don't really have to listen to the motivation stuff. I get it in micro increments through all of the networking events that I'm a part of and the coaching calls that I hop onto. It was all of these little micro choices that I made and built into my routine that 5 years later, I see myself and I am so thankful and I feel so blessed. But at the same time, I do find myself looking at how little I do have compared to what I could have, how little I am doing compared to what I could be doing. So I have to look back in retrospect on history and see, I've done well, Chris. Pat yourself on the back. Yes, you can do better, but also realize that you have done a lot. You have not wasted your efforts. You have done your best in those moments. Even if I could have done better, I did my best in those moments. I hope this helps you because I know that you can resonate with this because we all feel this way. So if you haven't done this already, take some assessments like the 6 Working Geniuses. Read the book, The Road Back to You, which talks about the Enneagram. Really good book. Take the DISC assessment, look into the predictive index, and start discovering yourself and build your calendar starting with your health, with your education time in there, and then with your family, the relationships that feed you encouragement and positivity, and then look at your finances. And then if you need to tweak your finances and raise them higher to take time away from some of the others, then that's fine. But don't start with the finances and try to find a place to put all the other things that really do keep you where you can go out there and work to make a large income, because those things are necessary for you to have the energy to go out and do it every single day. I want you guys to live in success. Check us out on Blue Collar Millionaire Facebook group, where me and Kevin talk about business. We also pull in some mindset and some financial literacy. We teach you how to acquire a business, scale a business, and take it to the market and sell it so that you can have massive lifts in your income. Till next time, let's grow together.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.